A new Shout Factory 4K, a brand new horror film that I watched and will review right here, a Vinegar Syndrome find with an out-of-print slipcover, a rare horror Blu-ray that I got the last copy of from Diabolic DVD, my Kino Lorber Winter Wonderland sale, and so much more. This is my Blu-ray and 4K collection update. There's no time to waste. Let's do this. What's going on, friends? Welcome again to the Cobweb channel. My name is Daniel, and we're just going to do a chill video talking about some Blu-ray pickups. So let's start out with the Diabolic DVD order. I picked up a couple of Paul Naschy movies from there because The Mummy's Revenge had one copy left. And I was looking for this on eBay recently, and it was being sold for big money, like $40 to $60. And I really wanted to see this Paul Naschy film. This is his Mummy film, where he plays a dual role. I think he plays the hero of the movie and the mummy, because of course he does. He's Paul Naschy. I'm so excited to watch it, but I found that Diabolic DVD had it for sale for $27.99, which is kind of pricey, but way better than the super high prices on eBay. And it was their only copy, so I thought, you know what, to get it for a kind of decent price, it's now or never. It did come with a slipcover. This is a Scorpion releasing Blu-ray. I don't think I've ever gotten a slipcover from Scorpion before. It doesn't feel like the highest quality of slipcovers. It feels like if I'm the slightest bit unkind to it, it will look terrible, so I really need to take care of it and keep it looking good. Really hoping to watch this movie soon, and we'll tell you guys what I think. And the other Paul Naschy movie I got is Inquisition, as I believe I understand it, because I've never seen this movie either. This is his Witchfinder movie, his witch hunter film. Paul Naschy, he played in a lot of different classic gothic horror subgenres. He made vampire movies, a lot of werewolf movies, a mummy film, as you just saw. This is his witch hunter film. And if I read the synopsis correctly, this is about him as a witch hunter falling in love with a woman accused of witchcraft. So this sounds fantastic. I've actually heard very good things about it. And I'm always down for a witchcraft involved film. And I'm always down for a Paul Naschy movie. And then I almost threw a third Paul Naschy movie into my cart. It was $20, but I found it for a much better price on eBay. So I just grabbed it there. $15 with shipping. I thought that was great. I got the Mondo Macabro release of The Beast and the Magic Sword. I think from what I've heard, this is one of his best werewolf movies, part of his series about werewolf character Waldemar Daninsky. I just did a video on The Werewolf and the Yeti, which is another Waldemar Daninsky film. But this is a cross between a gothic horror film and a samurai film. I believe it's Waldemar Daninsky in Japan, and it's got samurais and swords and action, but also werewolves. Sounds fantastic. From what I've heard, I think this could have potential to be the best Daninsky film, so we'll have to see. And then my buddy Chris from the Figure Out Films YouTube channel came into town, and we went to Best Buy to pay our final respects at the end of last year, as Best Buy is ceasing to sell physical media, which is really sad, honestly. I mean, I admit, I didn't do a lot of physical media shopping at Best Buy because I buy a lot of, you know, old, obscure, boutique label kind of stuff that Best Buy generally doesn't have. But it's still nice that there was a pretty good in-store option for a lot of people, and with Best Buy going away, a lot of people are losing that. But we went to pay our final respects. We actually made a trip video out of this over on the Figure Out Films YouTube channel. Check that out. It's linked down below. It's also in my community tab. Chris and I had a lot of fun making that video at Best Buy. But there I picked up the new Shout Factory 4K for The Man in the Iron Mask. Now, this was a childhood favorite for me. My family and I really loved this film. We watched it a lot when I was growing up, but I hadn't seen it since then, so I didn't know how it held up. And I had heard a lot of bad things about it, which was surprising to me because I thought it was great when I was a kid. Like, I don't know. But essentially what this is a Three Musketeers film. But the Three Musketeers, along with D'Artagnan, are now much older. They're aging heroes. And the king, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, King Louis, is horrible. He's a horrible king. The Three Musketeers finally get fed up, and they're like, you know what? We're going to do something about this. And they find a man in an iron mask in a prison cell that could be their key to getting rid of this king. I rewatched this movie and I loved it. I love this movie. I don't understand what other people's problem with it is. Like, it has such a low Rotten Tomatoes score. At one of my Letterboxd, practically everyone I follow gave it bad ratings. I don't know. I think this is a great movie. 1998, cross between a swashbuckler and a political thriller. And maybe if people are expecting more of a swashbuckler or more of an action movie, maybe that's why they're disappointed, because it has some action, but not a lot. It's much more a political thriller about this king and lots of scheming and backroom deals and sneaking around to try to get rid of this king. And I find it all riveting. I love the cast. The Three Musketeers are played by Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich, Gerard Gerard Depardieu, who I'm a little less familiar with, and then D'Artagnan's played by Gabriel Byrne, and they're awesome in this movie. I love all of them so much. If I was forced to pick a favorite, I think it would be Jeremy Irons. Seems like a lot of people have problems with Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. I agree he's the weak link, but he was really young and he's around a bunch of fantastic veteran actors. Leonardo DiCaprio, he did become a better actor with age for sure, but I think he's good enough. I just love this, okay? I was just like having such a rousing, great time watching this movie. I do think I overpaid for it because I paid the new price of $30. If I waited, I could have gotten it for cheaper, but I want to pay my last respects to Best Buy. This is what I chose to buy, and I'm so glad I did because I had a wonderful time rewatching this, and I was terrified of those. If you've seen this movie, let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? I love it. And then right after we went to Best Buy, we hit up Vintage Stock, which is a store that sells a lot of used stuff, and I found a pretty cool retro DVD find. I got The Bride. This is a 1985 version of Frankenstein. I've been wanting to get this movie anyway because I'm plotting a Frankenstein ranking video that I'm going to do at the beginning of February because I just found out there's a new Frankenstein movie hitting theaters in early February. I think it's called Lisa Frankenstein, but I thought, well, that's perfect timing to finally do a Frankenstein ranking video. I always knew I needed to do that. So I grabbed The Bride so I could watch it, and I did watch it. I find it so odd that this movie got made. It stars Sting as Baron Frankenstein, like Sting from the Police, which is really strange. And essentially what it is a direct sequel to Bride of Frankenstein. The beginning of this movie is like the end of Bride of Frankenstein, except the bride does not die, and Baron Frankenstein takes her in and decides to teach her how to be like the most awesome, intelligent, amazing woman ever. And that's like his goal. And the monster didn't die either. He goes off into the countryside and starts living his own life. And interesting thing about this, it is not a horror movie in any sense of the word. Not horror at all. Very much a costume drama that just uses the characters of Frankenstein. But I thought it was good. It's odd, but there's a relationship that blooms between the monster and this friendship with a little person played by David Rappaport, and they start working in a circus together. And I love their friendship so much. And the movie has a very sweet ending. It's a pretty decent drama that I thought was like interesting, and I got into parts of it. Sting isn't a great actor. He's definitely the weak link here. But it's a strange movie, but I was kind of into it. And then on eBay, I picked this Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray up. Dear Dead Delilah. This is a Southern Gothic horror film from the 70s that I kind of forgot I had been interested in a long time ago, and I wanted to get the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray and just never did. And went looking for it in the website and found the slipcover was out of print. Now, I'm not a 100% stickler for Vinegar Syndrome. I'll take it without if I have to, but I love Vinegar Syndrome slipcovers, so I would really prefer it. And I did find it on eBay for $25, which is cheaper than it would have been new on their website with a slipcover back when it was in print. So I thought that was a pretty staggeringly good deal. Yeah, Southern Gothic film from the 70s, starring Agnes Moorehead. I'm not sure if it's one of those hag horror movies like Bette Davis and Joan Crawford did a lot or not, but I'm really looking forward to checking it out. So always glad to add more to my Vinegar Syndrome collection, and I'm soon going to add many more because I put in a pretty big Vinegar Syndrome order on their subscriber week sale that they did recently. So when I get that order in, that's going to be a heck of a haul video. And then I got this brand new horror film, Suitable Flesh. This just came out on Blu-ray this week. I went ahead and ordered it. It's a Lovecraft film that Stuart Gordon himself was planning on making. Stuart Gordon, of course, the director of amazing Lovecraft adaptations like Reanimator, From Beyond, Dagon, incredible films. He was going to make this, but he sadly passed away a few years ago. So another director, Joe Lynch, picked it up. Barbara Crampton produced it and also co-starred in it. Barbara Crampton, of course, from Beyond and Reanimator. And they made this movie that Stuart Gordon didn't get the chance to make. And I think that's beautiful. I'm so glad they did it. The movie stars Heather Graham, of course, from Boogie Nights and Swingers, but most importantly, License to Drive. So it's cool to see her again. I feel like she hasn't gotten any big parts in the while, and it's a very strange movie. I don't really want to spoil it, but it definitely involves body swapping and eldritch Cthulhu-like gods. You like how I kind of themed my t-shirt for today? And it just doesn't go as far as I wanted it to. The movie fancies itself like an erotic thriller. I've seen some people say, oh, it has that like direct-to-video 90s erotic thriller look. I feel like that's generous. I feel like what this movie looks like a Lifetime movie. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look like a film, you know? Like it looks kind of cheap, and it looks like a Lifetime movie, honestly. And if that was an intentional choice, I think it was a mistake. I think it would have been much better to make it look a little more like Reanimator and From Beyond. They have enough visual references to those movies in here anyway. And the Lovecraftian horror on display is pretty good, doesn't go near as far as any of those Stuart Gordon movies that I mentioned. The sexuality to it, in which there is a lot, but it's clearly very restrained because I don't think the actors wanted to go all the way with it, which I understand, but just go into it knowing that it's pretty darn held back and watered down for sure. But I will say my wife is also a fan of Reanimator and From Beyond, and she doesn't watch a ton of movies these days anymore. And she sat down on the couch next to me to read, like she often does when I watch my weird movies. And she got sucked into this and watched the whole thing with me. So I feel like that's an endorsement to this movie for sure. I thought Suitable Flesh was pretty good. I gave it 3 stars. It's not amazing. It doesn't look great, but I thought it was pretty good. And then this next one is kind of cool because I put out a post on the community tab recently and told people, hey, I'm doing a Frankenstein ranking video soon. Should I blind buy and watch this? And resoundingly, the answer was yes. There are only like a couple of people that said no. So I got it for a good deal on Amazon Marketplace. I got Frankenstein, The True Story. This is a Scream Factory Blu-ray. This is a 70s television adaptation. I believe it was like a 2-part miniseries, kind of like Salem's Lot or something like that. So it's really just like a 3-hour movie here on Blu-ray. And I don't know much about this. I know it's got James Mason in a supporting role. It's got Jane Seymour, like from Live and Let Die. And I'm looking forward to it. I don't really know what to expect, but I find it interesting that the Scream Factory cover is original cover art, even though this isn't a collector's edition, but it very much looks like their Hammer releases. It's not a Hammer movie, but it does have reversible cover art that I'll show you right in here. There you go. So yeah, 70s TV adaptation. When I made my Dracula video, I did not watch, nor did I really even know about a 70s TV adaptation of Dracula starring, I believe, Louis Jordan. A lot of people in the comments were like, hey, why isn't this on there? Because I hadn't seen it, but I'm going to check this one out before the Frankenstein video, so that'll be fun. And then I quickly want to show you guys my Kino Lorber Winter Wonderland sale haul. I showed the folks over on Patreon this last month because I got it last month, but I figured, enough time has passed. The Patreon folks, they got exclusive early access to seeing this, so now I'll bring it to everybody. So I did get the 2 American Ninja movies that Kino Lorber just recently released. Yeah, they just released these and they were already for $10 each with slipcovers in the sale. So I'm super excited that I got these for $10 each. I love these movies, especially the first one, and never got those olive Blu-rays because they were overpriced and didn't look good. These look awesome. I just love them. American Ninja, just such a fun canon action movie. I'm a huge fan. American Ninja 2 might technically be even better. It just doesn't hold the place in my heart that the first one does. But yeah, big fan. Really glad to have these. And then I got The Experts. This is a John Travolta movie from the 80s. Yeah, 1989. It also has Kelly Preston, who I'm a huge fan of. And they were married for many years before Kelly Preston sadly passed away. But I decided to get this because I heard the premise from a friend on a podcast, and I thought the premise sounded so fun. It's about these 2 guys who are trying to open up a club, I think in Vegas or something like that, but they get the opportunity to actually open a club somewhere else. They get taken to that place, and they think it's in America at first, but it turns out it's Russia. It's a Russian town where the government is trying to make it as American as possible. So they basically bring these guys in to try to be like the all-knowing oracles of what is cool in America so they can make their town more like America. But supposedly they've really just made it like 1950s America. Sounds like a really fun 80s comedy with a great cast. I'm really looking forward to it. And then I got Murder by Decree. This is a Sherlock Holmes film in which Christopher Plummer plays Sherlock Holmes, and he goes up against Jack the Ripper. So it's a Jack the Ripper movie, which has got me really excited. I've heard good things about this movie. I haven't heard great things about Christopher Plummer as Sherlock Holmes, but I'm looking forward to finding out for myself. I've been wanting this for a while. It's just always been kind of pricey, but it was $10 in the sale, so I had to take advantage. And then I got a pre-code 1930s horror film that I've been meaning to get for a while, just hadn't pulled the trigger. The trigger's been pulled. I got Supernatural, which is, it's from 1933. It's got Carol Lombard and Randolph Scott. There you've got her. It looks like she's around like a crystal ball or something. I don't know much about this. I just love 1930s horror, so I'm going to check it out. And then I got a couple, let's see, this is a redemption release of The Nude Vampire. This is a Jean Roland movie. He made a lot of vampire movies. I've never seen any of them. Now, I did pop this in, attempted to watch it before making my recent 70s vampire video. And it became clear I was not in the mood for what this is. It's a very super artsy, avant-garde kind of a movie, low on plot, low on dialogue. It also became clear it wasn't going to be the kind of traditional vampire movie I was kind of looking for that list. So I did bail on it, but I'll come back to it when I'm a little more in the mood for it one of these days. It was really cheap. It was like $9. And then also like $8 or $9, I got The Virgin Witch. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It says Kino Lorber on the back, Kino Classics, but it's not a Kino Lorber Studio Classics. Doesn't have that traditional spine. But yeah, The Virgin Witch is a British horror film from the 70s. Don't know much about it, but I'll check it out for sure. So there you go. That is my Blu-ray collection update. Thank you so much for watching this one. And what have you been picking up lately? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you haven't yet watched my top 15 1970s vampire movies, check out that list right over here. And I got a playlist linked right over here as well for all of my Blu-ray reviews. Give the video a like if you enjoyed this and to subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. With all that said, don't forget to enjoy yourself today. Take some time to have some fun, and I'll see you next time.